So you're going to start with the center line, and it's this center line that I'm talking about. So you'll see that it's kind of this kind of upside down M shape, or like really flattened out M shape. So for any closed mouth, that's kind of what you're starting with. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. That's what you're going to start with. It's the easiest way to draw a mouth. Okay, we're going to go back to full page here. Okay, so if you start with that center line, again, just a flattened out M. You can kind of see where the corners, if you want to make it more of a smile, those corners tend to go up a little bit. And then you're going to take the Cupid's bow, which is this part right here at the top. That is what you're going to use to kind of indicate where this part comes. And you're going to just put a little bit of line out and then a little bit underneath to indicate where the bottom of the lip is. Okay, that's all you're going to draw when you're drawing lips. The rest of it is all through shading. So with your shading, again, like the nose, you're going to want to make sure that's way too dark. Make sure that you have, your base values in here, because the face and the skin is not white. Okay, and then you're going to kind of start in with the shadow that you have on the lips. And there's a shadow on the lower lip created by the upper lip. And you can kind of get that in there. Just go put that shadow in. There's a shadow on the lower lip that's underneath, that is created from that lower lip. That's why you're only drawing a little bit in, and you should probably draw it as light as you can, so that way it can blend in. These sides, it kind of blends up with the corners of the mouth. Okay, so that helps kind of create that fullness that's in the center. And again, right now it might look like it's a little bit dark, but that's because you don't have all the shading in the rest of the area. This upper lip, that's going to be more shadow. So you'll go and you'll put that in. And that's what's going to indicate that you have the upper lip. There's not a line there. It just sort of changes color and it's a little bit smoother. So as you go and you kind of start to put that in, remember the fullness of the lower lip. Now you'll see that shadow that we started with on the lower lip doesn't look nearly as dark. So now you can go back in and make that a little bit darker. And just kind of keep playing with the values. Adding that shadow in. You can add some of the texture to the lip. There might be some little creases as you go. Again, it's going to come clear out to the corners. It's going to be a little bit more shadowed in the corner, especially along with the upper lip. A closed mouth is always going to be easier to draw than a open mouth. I will show you how to do an open mouth as well, but that's kind of your basics for the closed mouth. Again, just get that shadow in there on that lower lip, but depending on the texture of the person's lip, if it's a little bit drier, you're going to have a little bit more creases in there, but you can kind of get in there with the shadow and kind of do that. And then from underneath, and kind of form into the chin shape. That's where your chin's going to kind of come in. You can start to see the rest of the face kind of shaping up. And as the rest of that shadow gets in there, you can start to see really where you can add some more contrast under that lower lip. As we dipped in the nose, this is where you can add a little bit of shadow on the upper lip as well. There tends to be a little bit of framing around where the highlight hits along that top of the lip. Again, don't worry, it's not going to make it look like you have a mustache, because once you get all the other shading in there, you'll start to see where it all kind of forms in. That's where, again, you'll have the nose as we come up into here. And that kind of comes down into that lip area. And kind of continues to form from there. Okay, if you do find that you get the shading on the lip a little bit too dark, you can always go back with your eraser and just kind of touch. That is too dark. Need the eraser that I have with pencil. So that was just kind of lighten it up. There we go. And you can achieve the same kind of thing with a regular pencil just by dabbing your eraser versus really pushing down with it. And then go back in and kind of see where, you know, under the nose you're going to have some more shadow, that sort of thing. But that's when it all gets into keeping the facial, pushing all the facial proportions together. Okay. Here again, I might kind of go and make this part a little bit darker, just to kind of get that shadow in there. But that's how you do